Today's postcard is from the oldest part of Uxbridge. We're in Windsor Street, here in the county of Middlesex. Now, Ken, Windsor Street. You know, I used to be on the old Uxbridge Conservation Panel, and really old Uxbridge seems to just consist now of Windsor Street.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is the one street that survives of old Uxbridge. Everything else has been drastically altered, and here the character still remains.
It certainly does. I mean, when you look up there, just guide us through it. I mean, I know where I am, it's my hometown, but let's look at the building there. That's St Margaret's.
The parish church of St Margaret, yes, and beyond it we can just glimpse the turret of the market house.
That's right at the far top.
That's it.
And I noticed there's a bell there.
Yes, that's the market bell. Every Thursday was market day in Uxbridge, and proceedings began at 12 noon with the ringing of that bell. Nothing happened before then. And then all the trading began, and the bell was rung again at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was the finish of the market day.
Now, it seems to me that over there, that little pub with the gables on, has it changed its name? Because I used to remember, because Uxbridge is the end of the Metropolitan line, and I'm sure there was a train in the pub sign there, but it seems to have disappeared. Was I mistaken?
No, you're absolutely right. No, it was known as the Metropolitan Public House. But in fact, even before that, it was called the Windsor Castle. And then in 1871, the Metropolitan Police arrived in Uxbridge, dead opposite there, and so they renamed it the Metropolitan after the police.
Oh, so not after the Underground?
No, but you see, what happened was that many years later, people completely forgot about the origins and assumed that it was something to do with the Metropolitan Railway, and therefore your train sign went up.
What about Windsor Street as a whole now? We can see that it's still got a little bit of character here.
Oh, yeah.
Is it dying or is it prospering?
Well, it's struggling because at one time the town's post office was here.
Oh,
and
I was a student and postman came past as we said that. That is typical postcard. It all happens on postcards.
Yeah.
3 postmen came past. And I was about to tell you that in here, I used to struggle here at Christmas as a little student postal worker.
Oh, yes,
I
yes.
used to go up to Ickenham and I was delivering all the post, but I don't remember any of this here.
Well, you see, when this was the post office, everybody had to come down Windsor Street. But as soon as it closed and moved away, then the street really has been struggling ever since.
Wow.
And I think it'll only survive if we have small specialist shops here.
Well, there's Margaret over there. Hi, Margaret. No, I remember Margaret. She used to be in the old sweet shop, one of the oldest sweet shops in the, well, I think the county.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, she still is, of course.
Oh, she's still there?
Yes, you must go and see her.
I must pop in. I must pop in and see Margaret, because you'll be wondering where I am. Now,
That's
this
right.
is the bit that I remember when I was at school. They used to say, well, don't go to the bottom of Windsor Street, which is where we are now, because there used to be the ghosts of people who died over there because they were actually killed or murdered in Queen Mary Tudor's reign. Was that true?
No, that is absolutely correct, yes. 3 men, none of them were actually Uxbridge men, but they all came from the southeast of England, were brought here and burned at the stake in 1555.
They were, for why? Was it religious wars?
Religious views, that's
Yes.
right, yes. Mary Tudor herself was trying to re-establish the Catholic faith. These 3 men were Protestants, and so they suffered the fate. They were not local men, but it's thought they were brought here to set an example to local people as a warning, you toe the line or else.
Which really goes to show Uxbridge's importance as a market town, of course, during those times.
It was indeed. It was indeed.
And over there, we still have a green, but that's not the Lynch, is it? Which is what they used to call the Lynch. It was over there, wasn't it?
Yes, that was Lynch Green. That was an open piece of ground in the 16th century. But earlier this century, a memorial was placed over on what was the town's old cemetery to the 3 martyrs.